Now you see, normally, I would start this stream with a little bit of music, with a little bit of something bouncy, something that sort of provides a nice positive ambiance. Because normally, we are not being very annoyed at a certain former executive at Elland Road. However, things are a little bit different in today's stream. Hello, everyone. I just need to very quickly change the battery on my headphones, which is going to take about 30 seconds. Hope we're all very, very well. Is it that way around? I think it's that way around. We'll find out. And welcome to the stream, in which we are discussing what started with a conversation about the Jack Harrison news, in that Jack Harrison will be returning to Leeds United over the summer, and I will be completely clear, as Matty has said, yes, he was always going to initially return. Everton not keeping him, that's been confirmed now. The issue with this is less around the fact that he's going to be here for a few weeks and more around sort of the general gist of what Victor ORTA'S ultimately left Leeds United with, because that's a long list of things. So I'm going to sum things up as effectively as I can throughout. But basically, we have had confirmation from the Everton side that they will not be retaining Jack Harrison after the end of the season, which completely understandable. He's been dreadful for them. Mainly the focus being on the fact that this season he's got a single goal involvement. I believe it was a goal. I can't remember who against. I'll have to find that one out and see if it's a goal that even mattered. Let's have a quick skim. Yeah, in a 1-1 draw against Wolves, he managed to score a goal. Other than that, he's done very little all season in 2,000 minutes, which is not really what you want from a winger. And that's where you get to the concerning bit of, cool, he's not doing anything for Everton, a team that I believe were 13th in the league off the top of my head. So what do we do in response to this? What does this ultimately mean for us going forwards? Because, I mean, he's not doing anything decent for a team in 13th. Why would anyone higher than that sign him? Which is where the issues come up. Because I was having a chat with the Only Leeds Bros guys a little bit earlier, and we made a couple of discoveries that make this more a conversation on Victor ORTA and careful business planning than the specific Jack Harrison thing. However, before I get into all of that, the thing that I have to talk about, the thing that I'm going to talk about for now, is the Leeds Creator Cup. The Leeds Creator Cup is going to be a charity match on the 20th of July at the John Charles Centre for Sport, featuring all of your favourite Leeds United creators playing against one another, with one another, to see who comes out on top. Got a lot of exciting things planned for it. I may have made a vast purchase of a couple of bits and bobs for the event I think it'll add to it, but we'll find out. But if you are able to be there on the 20th of July, it will be £7 for an adult ticket, £3 for a child's ticket, and you can purchase your tickets down below. You can also donate to the event down below. When you donate, every single penny will go directly to Prostate Cancer UK. It won't go towards organisational stuff. Everything that you give us from this point onwards is going to go towards the charity rather than organisational stuff, unless, like a guy emailed the other day saying, is there anything that I can do specifically to help the organisational stuff? In that case, we'll sort something out. But anything that you can do would be absolutely spectacular, and I hope to see you there. Also, if you get your tickets in the next 5 days, you can get yourself one of these nice shirts. Oh, yeah. With your own name and number on the back that isn't Blackburn 42. Anyway, hopping into the main part of the stream, need to have the ORTA conversation, because we were discussing after the stream ended how long he had left on his contract. And the main concern that I had in terms of how long he has left on his contract is that immediately before he left, like 4 months, something stupid like that, he signed a new one. And he signed it to put in that stupid loan clause that everyone hates. The one that isn't valid anymore, because it's not, because we're in the Premier League now. Which means that with that contract being signed for 5.5 years, he still has 3 years left on his Leeds United contract. Which isn't good, which is quite a significant sum of money. If we have a quick look at the estimated amount that every single Leeds United player is earning, for example, So, salaries for Leeds United players. Currently earning the most is Patrick Bamford on 70 grand a week. Then Junior Firpo on 60, James 50, Strout 50, Solomon was on 45, Aronson 45, Ampadu 40, and it goes down and down and down from there, which ain't that bad. Just to back this one up, no, it's fucking not. He wasn't at the club when Harrison got his contract renewed. The issue that emerges from this is then you make it so it involves the amount that Jack Harrison is earning. You start to include loanees and players that are not at the club right now. And oh my god, Jack Harrison is currently on £90,000 per week. Approximately 5 million quid a year. And like, I'm going to look at this in a completely as fair as I can way. And I'll look at this from the perspective that I am looking at it with Pat Bamford, for example, where I'm looking at it and saying, you're not responsible for the amount of money that you are offered in wage discussions. If anyone in the chat was offered a wage rise at their job, they would take it. Or they would at least, in the conversations, be like, I wonder if I can haggle that a little bit higher. You'd take it. The issue that we've been left with now is, in my opinion, not the responsibility of specifically Jack Harrison. For me, this is down to Victor Orta now, who is no longer at the club, which, fine. And has since been sacked by Sevilla, which I think is quite interesting. But we're still seeing the impact of that legacy now. We're still seeing that contract renewal that came through, which was, let's be completely clear about this, incredibly stupid. Like, renewing his contract a matter of months before you know that he could leave because of the thing that you put in that contract is daft. And we all know that that is incredibly daft. But having a quick look at the money that is left to be paid to him, it's £4.68 million a year. Multiplying that by 3, that is 13.8. I think that's £14.04 million that we owe him at the minute, which is quite vast, which is a thing that is going to make it incredibly hard to sell him. Because a lot of the conversation has sort of rotated around, clubs in the MLS can deal with it. For a little bit of context on that, the 2024 salary guide includes how much each player in the MLS earns. If I sort by highest base salary, in order to get his current salary in the MLS, at any club, it doesn't matter which, he would need to become the 6th highest player in that league, 6th highest paid player in MLS. At least according to data as of last September. Obviously, Latte Lat might have moved into that conversation. But in order to earn that much, we would need to find a buyer that is able to take that much out of their wage cap, because wage caps are significant in MLS. You have a specific amount that you are allowed to spend, and there's a certain number of players that you are able to get as a designated player. The designated player rule means that you can sign 2 players who can earn whatever the hell. They can exceed the salary budget limits. The overall salary budget that you have in MLS is $5.9 million for your squad for the year. Now let's just do a quick little £4.6 million to US dollars. Okay. So on his current wages, Jack Harrison is earning more than the allowed salary cap of an MLS team, if I'm reading this properly, outside of designated players and all that kind of stuff. Which, A, shows you why MLS isn't developing too quickly, because if they're able to just throw money at players, then absolutely it'd go great, but they are unable to do so because of the salary cap. But it also does, in my opinion, unveil just how Orta and Radrazani and Kinnear, at least to an extent, I'm assuming Kinnear had a little bit more about him considering he's still here. Well, was still here, but he was kept here under the 49ers. It's very, very telling of how unprofessional things were behind the scenes, which to me is spooky because I think we should probably be doing better than that. Yeah, he would very comfortably have to be a designated player, and not only that, but he would be comfortably in the top 10 highest earners in the league, unless he's willing to take a massive pay cut. And the question is, why would he do that when he can just sit at Leeds United on his £5 million a year, faffing about doing stuff on Instagram, bad-mouthing the club, as he has been doing for the past 2 seasons, even as someone that is under contract with Leeds United, which isn't great, I'll be honest. As a general rule of thumb, if I'm working for someone and they're just like, can you give these contractors a hand? I don't go over there and say, main company's shit, innit? No, because that's stupid. It's incredibly stupid. But here we are, stuck with him. Send him to Rangers. I don't think it works like that because Rangers would need to do something financial with it, and Rangers aren't going to want to be walked over because they also need to do a significant rebuild. Like maybe there's a potential conversation to be had on what if we swapped Raskin for Jack Harrison. But I don't necessarily think he's going to want that move either. I do have a theory as to what he's going to want to do, and my thinking is he's going to want to go to MLS if he can to get a decent amount of football because he's not strictly declared for England as far as I am aware, which means that he can, in theory, I think, play for the US because of the amount of time he spent there as a kid. And the World Cup is in the US next year. But even that is a stretch. All Borough, Leeds and Sevilla fans hate him for what he's done, and he should not be a director of football anywhere again. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to stand by the fact that I think if he was purely a head of youth development, he would probably be fine. Because he can do that. Because that's what he's good at. He's good at finding players with a high level of potential. But when it comes to all the contractual stuff, bad. Very bad. Very not good. Get him to clean the poops and make the team. I mean, it's not the worst of shout to try and persuade him to go. Just chuck him in the 21s. But Amazing went down, stayed down, got promoted, not still haunting us. Yeah, I mean, the remaining big wage problem is Jack Harrison. And for me, the reason that he is specifically the problem, rather than extending that to a Voba or to an Aronson, is they both went away and didn't badmouth the club when they went away, and also came back and did so whilst seemingly giving a shit. Voba, when he came on, looked like he wanted to play for Leeds United. As much as he wasn't brilliant, he put in the effort. Aronson, as much as his technical ability isn't up there with the rest of our attacking players, he puts in the work. And that's sort of what we needed him to do last season, and he did, and it was fantastic. But as the dead wood in the squad goes, for me, you don't have to look beyond Jack Harrison. Because that is some dead wood. Genuinely horrendous. A little bit of context for you as well. Right before the wage boost that he got, the new contract, he was on 50 grand a week. So the new contract that we offered to a player that at that point in that season, let's have a look at what he'd done. Because specifically, I know he signed it relatively late in that year. But let's have a look. Oh, God, that was a stinking year. Right. Going to find the specific date, so I'm not being unfair and inaccurate, but my point feels proven already from what I've seen. Jack Harrison leaves contract, signed, date. It's worse than I thought. It's so much worse than I thought. He signed the contract on the 6th of April. The 6th. Which is a month and a half before we got relegated. I thought it was like February. I thought it was like, cool, there's still time to get this back. Let's do it now. No. Why would you do that then? You want to know the best bit? The next match after that was the 5-1 loss against Palace at home, and then the 6-1 loss against Liverpool at home. We decided to double the wages of a player that season had scored 5. We decided that was a £90,000 a week player. How? What was going on? I did not know the numbers were that bad. Further little bit of information, by the way. Last season alone, Dan James scored 12. That's only 2 less than the total number of shots on target Jack Harrison had during the season. We decided, actually, you know what? We should pay you a vast amount of money. Stupid. Can we offer him to suppose us what deal for? No, because he's not as good as Solomon. And like we can offer that, sure, we can try and make that happen. But I don't see how it's feasible when Solomon is better and they're already trying to offload Solomon. If we did, we'd have to pay it off or come to an agreement with him to do so. And the amount of cash behind him is insane. I suppose we just have to have him as a squad player. Ideally, we can find something for him. But this is just telling of the problem, I think. It's Deadwood, no one will touch him with his salary. Yeah, salary is a problem. So unless he thinks I can move somewhere, get plenty of football and maybe try and push for a place at the World Cup if I am American for a bit, then I don't see what works. Hartstein already stated he doesn't want to be back with us. Surely we can work something out with his agent to satisfy everyone. You'd hope so, but... Is the report 150k a week offer for Firpo correct? And is anyone still saying yes to him at 8 million for you? I severely doubt that we would be offering anything like 150 grand a week for Firpo. I've not seen anything about that. Let's have a look. Junior Firpo, £150,000. I can't see a single thing. No, I can't see anything saying that we'd offer him that in terms of articles anywhere. Like, I would keep looking, but there will be nothing behind that. It'll be bollocks. Yes, he basically got the "we wish them the best of luck in their future" from Everton, which to me says gone. I would fucking love to see where he got that number from then. Because if I search the words Junior Firpo, £150,000 per week, the only thing that comes out is Ethan Ampadu appears to leak Junior Firpo's next club in front of 150,000 Leeds fans. There's no chance that we would offer Junior Firpo £150,000 a week. For a little bit of context on how incredibly wild that number is, let's have a look at a club that throws money at players like there is a fire and they need to do so to put it out. That would make him, for example, the 6th highest paid player at Manchester United, for context, on the same wage as Luke Shaw, Christian Eriksen, Jadon Sancho. That is me picking an example of a club that is stupid with money. Let's go for a slightly different example. Let's have a look at Man City. That would make him as highly paid as Mateo Kovacic, more than Mateus Nunes and Edison and Jeremy Doku. So that one, no, I doubt that one. And it would make him as highly paid as Alexis McAllister, Alisson, Ryan Gravenberch, and more than Diogo Jota. 150k a week is not going to be the offer for Junior Firpo. It's just not. Not even a little bit. I understand why they didn't want to sell the player to a direct relegation rival. It was a gamble, didn't pay off. I mean, I get renewing the contract to sort of protect the value and that kind of stuff. But 90 grand a week. You've made him the most important player at the club by paying him that. And it's just wild. But yeah, I just couldn't make him into a left back. I don't think he's good enough defensively. Like, he's reasonable at points. Also, I've just had a look at Spurs as well. He would be on the same amount that Vicario, their goalkeeper, and Brennan Johnson are combined for the Firpo one. Looks like he'll be a water boy on a huge salary. Yeah, I mean, I don't see him being part of an actual squad at any point. That would be nuts. If I had to put money on it, I bet he'll be part of the squad next season. I hope not. I doubt it as well. It feels like a horrible, horrible, horrible idea. It was potentially at the time our best prospect. He kept us up, but then the following season he didn't. And the season before, I'd argue that he didn't keep us up. Rafinha kept us up. Let's have a look. And if I can click on... Sod it, I'll go to the right season myself. That would be the 21-22, maybe? 21-22, okay. So in terms of Jack Harrison keeping us up, yeah, he scored 8, but Rafinha got 11. James, out of position, got himself 4. I think to argue that Jack Harrison is the player that kept us up is kind, when I feel like you could have put Dan James in his position, he would have equally done the same job. We'll be in the 25-man squad next season. I don't see it. I've got to be honest with you. I don't know. It's a good job that that's not true, because there's no shot we're offering 150k a week. Maybe Leicester offered that 90k and Leeds just matched it. Maybe, but at the same time, you'd like to think that if, well, we didn't have a sane person in the boardroom, but you'd like to think that anyone that is slightly more sane in the boardroom would think that's a stupid amount of money. Let's not do that. Left back in the dressing room as a sub for the 21s. I mean, that's the dream, innit? Get paid 90 grand a week to just be like spare parts for an under 21 side. I like to think a club in MLS would want him. Harrison's also eligible to play for the USA. Still highly regarded in MLS. Anything over 2.5 mil would mean we make a profit. Yeah, I think, like, in terms of fee, we will not be looking for much. I am convinced it'll be a case of just get him off the books, because that's a big wage, and we can get rid of that if we can. Against Brentford, that goal, I mean, cool, but at the same time, let's have a look at the table. At the same time, he had done a lot of stinking out the place for a lot of that season. And it didn't keep us up, because at the end of the day, we stayed up by 3 points. If he doesn't score that goal, cool, we're still up by a point. Like, as much as I like to give people credit, it was more Rafinha than Jack Harrison. Imagine what people see if they see Jack Harrison in a training video. I won't be happy. Like, I'll understand that it's probably outside of the club's control at that point because no one will have an interest in him. But it's not going to be a good vibe. And I think that all he's realistically going to bring is a bad vibe. And that's not what I want this club to be. Rafinha equalised against Brentford, and a draw was enough to keep us up. Yeah. Doesn't want to be here, and yeah, there's nothing but negativity. Yeah, like the amount of press stuff he's put out being like, oh, I want to be at Everton. You're still signed at a club, and you haven't got confirmation from Everton that they want to sign you. This feels like one of the stupidest statements you could make, and it was. There we go. Main issue is we need to find a buyer who is willing to pay us a fee and pay at least the same amount of wages we pay for him. That'll be hard. It could always be one of those situations in which we offer to pay a chunk of the wages. I don't want to be in that situation, to be completely clear with you. I think that's bad. But it's a thing that's feasible. If he has dual nationality, he'll have a hefty tax bill. You know what? Good. Keep losing your money, Jack Harrison. You twat. No, he won't have tax residency in the US. Maybe his agent will push for MLS. I think that would be sensible for him. I think staying at Leeds is stupid. Send him to Dubai. Would Dubai even have him? Probably, yeah, to be fair. Can see a Saudi club having a go, maybe, but... And they've got the wages, so... Wasn't he signing for Leeds when he was called back? Signing for Leicester, sorry. Yes, he was. I think he was mid-medical, if I remember right. And then we said, oh, no, you don't. That's a bad idea. Which... what's he worth? Do we take it at him and lose money? Thing is, even... Because as much as people pointing out the £2.5 million book value thing, we saved that in wages. So we'd lose on the fee, but we wouldn't have to pay him. So it's confusing a bit. Haven't won the lottery yet, Joe, but trying. If you do, can you just sort of like sign him for a club over where you are? Like, opposite side of the world would be a lovely place for Jack Harrison. You may have to take that sacrifice, but he did blow hot and cold, but there was a lot of rhetoric around Harrison's Brentford goal, which now I know is fake news. It's okay. Give him a Blades credit, maybe we can offer him to Sunderland. I made this quick note to Only Leeds Bros earlier, where Sunderland are in a spot where they're playing like Chris Rigg on the wing in a playoff final at points. And that's not going to work because Chris Rigg doesn't do that and is a child. So I think they'll be looking for people with Premier League experience, and I don't know whether or not he would make that move, but it's Premier League football, I suppose. So, hard to say. Sent to a newly promoted Saudi club, it'll be a... That's harsh. I have watched the Saudi league, and it is not good football. What did we pay? Was it 11 million? It was something like that. Yeah. We won't get that much, but it doesn't really matter getting like an actual profit. It's just PSR profit at this point that we need to care about. China stopped doing that a while ago when they realised that importing footballers was kind of hurting their national football programme. Fun little fact for you as well. This is such a niche thing, and it's not hugely football related, but it's quite of interest. If you are watching the Olympics and you're watching for sports that China are good in, you'll note that, for example, diving and shooting and like gymnastics, for example, the interesting thing about all of that is they are all individual sports. When it comes to team sports, China, not very good. A significant reason for that is because through like the education system and the athletic system, they are always sort of pushing people to be against each other. So like you are competing with this person, and if you don't succeed, this can't be a career for you. Which means that you just don't build up sort of like team morale and stuff, which means that sports like football get sort of left by the wayside and it becomes all about like individual things, which is why China are really, 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 really bad at like football and rugby and cricket. They just focus on the individual sports, which is like a really interesting cultural thing. I know that won't be interesting for everyone, but I like it. I think it's fun. Wouldn't send him to a relegation rival, which is what Sunderland is, because we're Leeds and it could backfire. It could, but at the same time, he's got to go somewhere. He can't stay here. And I think it's more beneficial to us for him to not be here and to like be able to reinvest the wages than him just being at Sunderland and maybe having a reasonable performance against us. Livingston came back from 2-0 down to win 4-2. Ooh, very nice. Barcelona have agreed a deal with Joan Garcia to sign the goalkeeper from Espanyol. Have they? Let's have a look. I don't see... Is he a really young lad? 24. He's not super young. But he's decent. He's very decent. I heard they're looking to loan him out, given our relationship with this club might be in the story. I imagine we'll be in the conversation, but when we're talking about the relationship with that club, there's not a huge relationship, to be honest. Like, in terms of like the relationship with the club, we sold them Rafinha, we got Firpo. There's not much deeper than that. So I think it's a tough one. It'd be good to get him. He's a decent keeper. But in terms of going for it, it's not like we'd be at the front of the line. Before I wouldn't say he fleeced the BBC. It's kind of on the BBC executives for offering those wages, right? Like, again, like I mentioned with Harrison, I'm not going to blame someone for being offered a vast sum of money if they take the vast sum of money they're being offered. What if Fark thinks he can use him and turn him around like he did Harrison? Then I will still think he is a dick. Because again, don't leave a club under such a massive shadow like he did. I think just bad decision making from Jack Harrison. I've never understood it, and I don't think I will. Fazzini from Empoli is what we need in midfield. With Empoli being relegated, a deal would be cheap. Let's have a look. Fazzini, 21 years of age, played 20 matches last season, 4 goals, 1 assist. Let's have a look at his deeper number. Oh, I don't know if he is. Maybe. Depends on the role we play him in. We blame him for being a feckless show pony with no loyalty. I think we can blame him for the no loyalty part. He can't be blamed for being below average. That's just who he is. First touch was good. Fair enough to him. Very nice. But I feel like his route to a redemption arc is significantly harder than Brendan Aronson's was this time last year. His mum saying all that about us was really bad. He was and still is a Leeds player. There's no going back from that. Yeah. He made his own situation so much worse by not distancing himself as well. But, as has been mentioned, Farker's always in the spot of, if you don't want to be here, then don't be here. And he's proven in the past he doesn't want to be here. And if all of a sudden he's like, actually, I'm going to stay at Leeds, then he doesn't want to be here. He wants to be in the Premier League, and he thinks that is the only option for him. I don't see us sort of bending for that. I don't see us falling into that little gap. But I think we're better than that. Yeah. Brendan, A, didn't badmouth the club when he left. B, came back and the first thing he did was an interview saying, I'm going to do my best here. C, he left for the Champions League, which feels very different to leaving for the Premier League, which is being linked with Gladbach is like being linked with Aronson's old outfit. Is there any other clubs? There's tons. Yeah. It's going pretty good, Wayne. Still having the odd issue with Creator Cup stuff because, and this is great. This is becoming a trend, right? A couple of times when I've put out the shout to be like, if anybody would potentially like to help out with the Creator Cup and do stewarding and all that kind of stuff, just ping me an email. The email is down below for context, guys. And the number of people that see that and go, I've got an idea, and ping me an email saying, hello, can I play in the Creator Cup? It's like, right, are you a creator? No. Okay. That's fine. The focus is going to be on getting creators on board. We've got a couple more new signings that I'll be announcing in a coming stream. Would you like to help out in some other way? Would you like to do stewarding stuff? And very interestingly, at that point, you don't get any replies, which is, yeah. It's an annoying one. Because it's like, I kind of want to, we got to staff the event. Okay. Can we find some gems in the German second division? In the Zweite Bundesliga? I hope so. But I think we can also look beyond that. Just curiosity. 49ers and Fight won't bend the knee for anyone the North remembers. That's good to know. You're significantly more south, but the North does remember. Give us a laugh. Give us Promise David's full name. What is his full name? Promise Oluwatobi Emmanuel David Akimpelu. That one. Ha 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 ha. What's the first week of June we announce the first signings, we all go who? That's the thing. That's the thing. You got so many things and so many pulses, you don't go who. Also, I keep playing on updated versions of the Football Manager database, so nothing's going to slip through. Hopefully. I need FM26, man. I mean, you can distance yourself from those comments. And he's also repeatedly said, no, I definitely prefer Everton, which in itself is kind of not great. He very clearly doesn't want to be at Leeds. So, off you go. If you ever do a Train Drivers Cup, I'd be more than happy to play. You're welcome to if I do a Train Drivers Cup. But if not, you could always do it. You could always be a steward. It's great. Gotta go, Joe. Work at 4. Catch you again. Catch you later, Jive. Wait, at 4? Was in the morning, or are you in a different time zone? I'm imagining time zone. If still struggling, I can get a sitter. I will let you know. I don't know if we'll be struggling by that point, I'll be honest with you. But I'm helping. You are, but you're not helping in a stewarding capacity. You will be mostly set with commentary people, helping to point them through the nightmare of a script that I still need to write. That's good. That's on my list of shit to be done. Surprising how many people don't like to do anything when there's no money involved. Volunteering for charity is one of the best things that can be done. I mean, yeah, it's like a relatively easy thing to do. And the best bit, you get a freebie from it as well. Probably. Depending on things. Depending on budget, it will either be it will definitely be a high vis because stewards will need high vises. But it will potentially also be one of the secret third shirts. I know, it's top secret. It's great. It's super sneaky and cool. The top secret third shirts are going to be the ones that are worn by the goalkeepers and the volunteers of the event. And I like it. I think that is a pretty shirt that I could be willing to show off. Maybe. If you guys are interested. I don't know. Forgot you're a bright like that backfired on me. It's less that and more. I've always been quite good at words, including like just pronouncing things. But yeah, and the kit is reminiscent of a player that I have mentioned in this stream already, is the way that I'm going to phrase it. And if someone guesses what it is in reference to, then I might show it off. I'm going to send it over so you guys know what it is. The trial version is currently in production for an idea of where we're at. No, guess the player. Guess the player it's in reference to, and then we'll go from there, Danny. Thank you very much, White Snake Base. I appreciate that. Fark sat with him after the first season like he did Aronson, and he still said, no, I don't think Fark would want him, so hopefully they talked. I hope so. You have now. Offer there if you're struggling. I mean, I'm happy to reach out. Does the shirt have sleeves and a hole to stick your head through? It might do. I mean, I don't want to give away spoilers. But who knows? Right, I'm going to add it as an overlay just so I can show it off. Give it a second. But yes, we do have a prediction. All our favorite content creators. All of everyone's favorite content creators. Except the ones that are injured. Because injured. Do I assume there'll be a team photo of the content creators clearly named? There will be on the day, because I can't get the shirts together for everyone until the day, which is a little bit of a problem. Does it have a pigeon theme? No, it doesn't have a pigeon theme. Okay, so you've done enough guessing. You've done enough wrong guessing. This is one that my approach to it was that I wanted to do a kit that was like a Joe kit. That was like, this is my favourite of the Leeds players to have played at Leeds. Therefore, I have earned a kit that is like for them. So, if I can jank it about a little bit. So what I've done, or what specifically Max of Leeds Lately has done, is I'm going to have to download the right page here, because otherwise it's going to look fucking stupid in like double size. This could take a moment. My apologies. From downloads, there we go. Bish bash, and indeed, if it wants to load for me. Bosh! It's a Rafinha kit. It looks redder on the correct monitor. I've got two monitors that sort of show different, but it's a Rafinha kit. It's a Rafinha kit. It's not a red, it's a burgundy, so it's fine. But that's what I've gone with. And the ones 14k, and those ones, yeah. The ones that are not able to attend is what we'll go with. I may and may not have begged for this a little bit, yes. Isn't that the Barca away kit? The Barca away kit's like cream, I think. Let's have a look. Barcelona kits. The current away kit is either bright green or, wait, no, it's not. It is black, basically. So it's not the Barca one. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna descend into just having a little bit of a natter, which should be quite nice. I will have a look to see what I intend to do a news video on tomorrow, because I'm gonna try and get a video done for the morning after this. What do you say the prize was? The prize was that I'd show off what it was. Sorry, but you've seen it now, so you win. No, the prize is you get to be a steward at the charity match. See, the issue is we're in that stage of the transfer window where it's like the end of the Premier League season. It's the end of the AFL season, but it's not into like things go nuts season, which is sort of a shame. On this one, this is fun. They do. Regional accents have been discovered in cows because of varying factors like the way that the wind affects their throat and stuff like that. So animals do have accents, which is not where I expected this conversation to be going, but it's where this conversation has gone. So we take it. Thank you, Danny. And thank Max of Leeds Lately, who did it. Oh, we got some news on the 29th, as it's my birthday. Ooh, very nice. Maybe not, though, because it's not super timing for a signing, I guess. Also, this is a fun one. I have a very stupidly timed shift this weekend, which is at something like 3:30 in the morning, maybe 2:30, something like that. Do I do like a stupidly late stream? Or is that a bad idea because it's going to get like 7 viewers? Hard to decide. Not for Formula One this time, for the Club World Cup playoff, which is going to be Club America versus LAFC, which is going to be quite interesting. Lions don't meow when they're cats. Yeah, but they're different cats. Kinda. And in this case, moo versus moo. That's a Scottish one. Don't go moo. It goes meh. Cheetahs meow, the only big cats that do. Oh, I like that. I think they all purr. Ponies have a Australian accent. That's a good one. Very nice. Enjoy it. Anyway. Let's have another quick skim to see what is going on in the world of football. I'll be honest, not tons. Harry Gray scored earlier. That was nice. Duck quacks do echo. I know this because there was once a experiment test thing that was like, this has to be a myth, right? It'd be incredibly stupid if they didn't. And it turns out they do. Right. No, shit. What have I done? Previous ones. Right. How about that one? No. How about that one? That'll do. So, before we go, I'm going to do something that I've not done in a very, very, very long time. I'm going to present my screen, and I'm going to bring up the grid, and we're going to do a quiz together, and it's going to be nice. So, let's have a little bit of a natter and talk about various football things. Yeah. Leeds player for Wolves. I believe I mentioned him earlier. Helder Costa. Easy enough. 19%. Leeds Bolton is giving speed. Leeds versus Bolton is giving very, very heavy Gary Speed. He did play for Bolton, right? I'm not imagining that. Because we went through it on one of the charity walks. Yeah, there we go. Leicester Leeds. Ooh, Kasper Schmeichel. 10+ league goals in a season, and Leicester, you gotta go. Do you go Vardy or do you go Madison? I don't care about score, so I'm gonna go Vardy. Bolton 10+ league goals. This is where we get interesting because I've got one. And I know he played there, but I don't know if he scored 10 goals in a season. Because I'm thinking JJ Okocha. But I don't know if he did. I'm not convinced. It was more of a 10. This is annoying. I need to think of other Bolton strikers. Or Wolves. Who've played up top for Wolves? Raul Jimenez. Not Rauk. Raul. Jimenez. Cool. Ricketts. That could be a shout. I'll go Ricketts. Okay, Ricketts. That works. Right, Irish Leicester player. Then Irish Wolves. Then Irish Bolton. What's the name of that right back? Is Matt Doherty? Is it Matt Doherty? It is. Right, okay. The question, Andy, is we need someone that matches this and this to fill out the grid. So currently we need an Irish Leicester player. We need a Bolton player that was Irish as well. I say was Irish, presumably is still Irish. And that would be Republic of Ireland, not Northern Ireland. But we've got Doherty. That's fine. Hold on, make that a bit bigger. There we go. And if you get any wrong, you lose guesses. Past or present, any. There's a Leicester one just sort of dancing on the end of my head. It's not coming. Vardy. Vardy has been done. Already up here. Cannon. Is Cannon Irish? I'll trust you. Is he a Thomas? Thomas. Okay. One more. Bolton, Ireland. I don't know. That's where I try and be funny and go for JJ Okocha because the flag, it's not super far out. Did Derry play for Bolton? I'm going to trust Matthew Smith. We're going to go with Mark Wilson and hope. Holy shit, how have you pulled Mark Wilson out? But we've done it. Not bad. Can we see what the most common answers were? Kasper Schmeichel, McAteer, Jamie Vardy, Speed, I don't know who Joey O'Brien is, Nicholas Anelka, Robbie Keane, Matt Doherty, and Raul Jimenez. Very nice. I'm going to try and find another Leeds one. And I will keep skipping through them until I've found one. Uh, 363, nope. 362, nope. 361, nope. 360, nope. 359, nope. 358, also nope. 357, nope. 356, nope. 355, nope. This is going really well for me. 354, also no. 353, hey, there we go. Okay. Do you do the times crossword banners? I don't. No, I've never been a crossword kind of person. Oh, this is horrible. Okay. Shit. Matthew Spring, Leeds and Watford. I'll trust you. Correct, 13%. Holy shit. Leeds Wigan. Gelhart. There we go, 37%. And I'll go with Danny Pugh. I love how we've just cleared Leeds out again. But now we've got Stoke Chelsea, Wigan Chelsea, Watford Chelsea, and then a bunch of Jamaican players. I've got no idea for. Do I? Fuller, Stoke and Jamaica. Who the fuck is Fuller? No, Stoke. Marlon King, Stoke and Jamaica. Just a quick note. There wasn't Marlon King. Marlon King was wrong. We can't guess them all. You fucker. Matthew. You've diddled me there. Right, I think we fill out the Chelsea ones first. I'm struggling with that as well. Why am I struggling with that? I don't know. Right, sod it. We'll go Marlon King now. Cool, 10%. Those Chelsea players are going to annoy me. Fucking Begovic. Yeah, that'd be it. Then we need Wigan, Chelsea. Then Watford, Chelsea. Which means you need to think of decent standard Watford players. Which is tough. I'll be honest. You can't just say names. Like I'm gonna need the category as well, Andy. Paul Furlong, Watford, Chelsea. Oh, very nice. We've got 2 guesses left, and we've got 3 boxes to fill. Mario Melchiot. Reece James is a banger. Very good call. Right, now we need a Jamaican Wigan or Stoke player. And then I think I'll bring the stream to a close. We've been going for an hour. It's been a nice hour. I'm getting tired. Joe, what's the question? I need a Stoke from Jamaica or a Wigan player from Jamaica. I'm struggling for either of them. Where do we sign Roof from? Because he plays for Jamaica. He went from us to Anderlecht to Rangers to Derby? Ricardo Fuller. Which box, Dr. Cox? Is it Wigan or is it Stoke? We just keep. There we go. Thank you. I was just gonna say, like, please just stop shouting names. I can't. Right, Ricardo Fuller. Hey, there we go. We missed one, but it's fine. That happens. We got 310. Marlon King. Ah, well. Right. In any case, I am going to leave it there because I'm real fucking knackered. Hope you enjoyed the stream. If you did, pop a like on it, subscribe if you're not yet. You can even become a channel member for $2.99 a month, where you get videos early, such as the one that I'm about to record now. I know. Also, if you are available and you fancy it, then get yourself either a ticket for the charity match, which is £7 for an adult, or you can get in for free if you agree to be a steward, which will be very, very easy stuff. It is a charity football match. All you will have to do is maybe make sure that there isn't malarkey. It's easy enough. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you later. Toodaloo.